The Old Man and the Devils. Once upon a time there was an old man who had a big lump on the right side of his face. One day he went into the mountain to cut wood. When the rain began to pour down and the wind began to blow so hard that he found it impossible to return home, and filled with fear, he took refuge in the hollow of an old tree. As he sat there, unable to sleep, he heard the confused sound of many voices in the distance, gradually approaching where he was. He said to himself, "How strange! I thought I was all alone in the mountain, but I hear the voices of many people." So, taking courage, he looked out and saw a great crowd of strange-looking beings. Some were red and dressed in green, others were black and dressed in red. Some had only one eye, others had no mouth. Indeed, it is quite impossible to describe their varied and strange appearance. They made a fire, so that it became as light as day. They sat down in 2 rows and began to drink wine and make merry like men. They passed the wine cup around so often that many of them got very drunk. One of the young devils stood up and began to sing a merry song and dance, and so did many others. Some danced well, others badly. One of them said, "We have had an extraordinary time tonight, but I would like to see something new." The old man, losing all fear, thought he would like to dance, and saying, "Come what may, even if I die for it, I will have a dance," he crept out of the hollow tree, and with his cap pulled down over his nose and his axe in his belt, he began to dance. The devils jumped up in great surprise and said, "Who is this?" But the old man went forward and back again, swaying and posing this way and that, and the whole crowd laughed and enjoyed themselves, saying, "How well the old man dances! You must always come and join us in our dance, but for fear that you may not come, you must give us a promise that you will." So the devils consulted together and agreed that the lump on his face, which was a sign of wealth, was what he valued most, and demanded that it be taken. The old man replied, "I have had this lump for many years, and would not part with it without good reason, but you may have it, or an eye, or my nose, if you please." So the devils took hold of it, twisting and pulling, and took it off without causing him any pain, and put it away as a pledge that he would come back. Just then the day began to dawn and the birds began to sing, so the devils hurried away. The old man felt his face and found it quite smooth, with no trace of the lump. He forgot all about cutting wood and hurried home. When his wife saw him, she exclaimed in great surprise, "What has happened to you?" So he told her everything that had happened. Now there was another old man among the neighbors who had a big lump on the left side of his face. When he heard how the old man had gotten rid of his lump, he decided to try the same plan to get rid of his lump. So he went and crept into the hollow tree and waited for the devils to come. Sure enough, they came, just as he had been told. They sat down, drank wine, and made merry just as they had before. The old man, scared and trembling, crawled out of the hollow tree. The devils greeted him and said, The old man has come. Now let us see him dance." This old man was unskilled, and did not dance as well as the others. So the devil shouted, "You dance badly and get worse and worse. We will give you back the lump we took from you as a pledge." So one of the devils brought the lump and stuck it on the other side of his face. And the old man went home with a lump on both sides of his face.